Hey there, nomads of lore.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Jonathan.
And together we are Meat and Mischief, and we're trying something different.
That's right.
So let us know what you think. We're trying a two-camera setup today, kind of doing a bit of an experiment, see what happens and what goes on with all of that. I guess as we normally do it with our lives, we'll probably spend less time doing this than typical because we've got less time overall.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of look funny.
You do look funny. You always look funny, though.
Well, yeah, that's true. I look kind of more like bad quality. I don't know. It's weird. I guess you do, too. I guess maybe it's just the stream on my screen. Hopefully we look all right, and more importantly, hopefully we sound all right. If there's anything going on weird in what I was trying to say before I got distracted by my gorgeous face was that we're going to kind of talk about logistics and kind of behind-the-scenes stuff while we give a chance for people to jump on, because these lives are always the most fun whenever people are with us live.
That's right.
And all of that. So, this live is going to be about Wheel of Time, characters in particular, specifically show characters and changes from the book and kind of some from season 1 and things we liked and things we didn't like and character focused, and then also kind of what we're wanting for the future. As is relatively obvious, we've been doing, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but we've been doing some polls and things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, but it let me get off this screen. I keep distracting myself. I'll let my wife take care of the comment section. My wife is on today. Mm-hmm. I do want to shout out before I go any further that Vidya is finally able to join a live session. We are so glad. We were hopeful that since we were able to do this one at a different time, we were hopeful that you'd be able to join us live. And there's some significant time difference issues and all of that. So we're super glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. And thanks everybody else that's joining us. As far as spoiler level, what we're going to do on this is we'll start at the beginning here. We'll kind of have a show only spoiler, and then we'll transition to books. What are we going to say about book 3 spoiler ish?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we're not probably going to give too many spoilers. Once we get into the predictions and predictions, theories, and wants for season 2, we'll get into we may get into spoiler territory. So let's start with what was everybody's favorite character from Wheel of Time season 2, show character, and to get the ball rolling, we can start out with Jonathan sharing what was your favorite show character as of today.
Ooh, okay, that's a difficult one. My brain is melted because
this is evening for us instead of morning.
Well, it's evening, and I finally got finished with the books. So it's the first time we put this in a video.
He's been kind of reeling from that.
Kind of let the Discord community know, but actually it was almost a week ago, and it's been anyway. I don't want to give too much away because we're definitely going to do some content on that, some videos on my first read through and our first read through and things we enjoyed and didn't enjoy. So I would have to say it's probably a tie. I really like Matt. I feel like I almost can't say Matt because he's leaving and he left.
Right.
And things.
Barney Harris is no more.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he's somewhere.
But the probably out of every episode, I know this is like we've talked various things, but at this point, my favorite episode is the episode where Barney and where Matt and Rand meet
Tom Bombadil. Oh wait, no.
Yeah,
a different Thom.
Our favorite guitar
different
player.
Thom. What is his last name?
Tom
Maryland. My brain went Bombadil. We're kind of gearing up for Lord of the Rings, which I'm super excited about. But we'll have to do another live on that some other time.
There's just a lot of really good stuff between Rand with the Dark Friend, and then Matt and Tom kind of building a relationship. Anyway, but I would have to say Matt, and if I can't say Matt because of him leaving, or if that's too...
If you're offended by him saying Matt, then you're too easily offended.
I probably have to say... I I guess Nynaeve. I guess.
Nynaeve. It's
Nynaeve.
Nynaeve, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
What about you?
So, show, I think my favorite is still Nynaeve. Overall, my favorite additional character that is not in the books. This is an easy one. This is kind of almost a gimme, right? But is easily Dana. I think she was a brilliant addition. She's a great character addition to the show. Brief, though her part was, but she was really brilliant. Nynaeve in the show is really good. I've said on lives before that I actually quite liked Nynaeve in the book. Even some of her more whiny times early in the book, I thought it was some interesting. Actually, she's a character. Actually, one thing that they changed about her from the books, I have grown to like less and less as I continue on the thinking about and processing season 1 and some of that, but I still really like her character. I think her character, a lot of the characters are stronger right now than they are by the end of the Eye of the World. We have more from them. We have more backstory, more interest, all of that. And so I think Nynaeve is still my favorite. I think actually, surprisingly though, one of the characters that I think is probably in a way, in spite of what they did in episode 8, one of the characters that's probably, even though on our tier ranking we put him pretty low, but honestly one of the characters that I think is closest to the book, at least in Eye of the World anyway, is probably Rand, honestly. And I don't like what they did with the some of the mystery stuff. We'll get into kind of some things we liked and didn't like about different characters and different changes to the characters and their arcs and whatever else in a minute. But I don't love some of the things they did, but it wasn't really because of Rand. But yeah, definitely Nynaeve. So looks like we've got a few comments of folks that have chimed in on the discussion.
Let's look at that.
Thank you guys for joining. If you're brand new to the stream, probably the most important information is right now, as of this moment, we're show only spoilers. We need to get a visual thing on like Dusty Wheel does. We have some graphics made. We just need to get it added into OBS. I didn't even think about it until just now. Yeah. As far as where our spoiler level is, we'll try to do that for next time. Is when we do these more tiered spoilers. Most of our live streams have just been full book spoilers, but for now we're show spoilers only until we get into predictions and changes and all that kind of stuff. So let's dive in comments.
Okay. So we got Buy the Things here for experimentation, and Rand is his favorite from the show, I'm assuming. So that's awesome. Rand has some great things in this show. I mean, they again leaned a little too heavily into the question of who he was, so they kind of tried to steer clear of him a lot of the times whenever cool things were happening, other than the door breaking on the one episode. That's really the
very
only
subtle.
Yeah.
Very, very subtle.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Rand's awesome for sure. And then video, we got congratulations, Jonathan, on completing the series. Really looking forward to your opinion. And then her favorite was Daniel Henney as Lan. Yep. Might be biased too. I was always a huge fan. Still love the depth of his acting. Then, of course, Barney Harris. Matt is my favorite from the books, and he did a great job. That is true.
Yeah.
Matt is awesome.
It is. Barney Harris did a phenomenal job. Yep. And I think, a lot of people, other than the people that are just hating the show out of principle of some sort. Out
of spite.
Yeah, or whatever else. Other than that, I haven't heard hardly anybody talking real negative about Barney Harris's performance. I've heard maybe some discussions about some of the changes, but actually even that, I haven't heard too many people talking about not liking Matt as far as him. I've heard them talking about not liking Abel Cawthon, right? His dad.
Yeah.
And his mom and some of those changes. But it seems like a lot of people really, really like Barney Harris, which makes his departure that much more sad for sure.
And the critical eye is going to be on his successor, of course, heavily by everyone, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, so speaking of Donal and name pronunciations, since this is the first time you've been with us live, we've been pronouncing your name Vidya, and I don't know if that is how we pronounce your name, and if you would like to correct us, we would be happy to do do better trying to say your name correctly. We appreciate all your support for sure, and everybody else that's joined us. Speaking of, if you haven't joined us over on Discord, you should totally do that. I can here in a minute put a link in the or Jonathan can, one of us can put a link in the comments to our Discord channel and all that kind of stuff. So as we move on and while he adds that, now that we've talked about our favorite character from the show, let's talk about our least favorite character of the show. We'll pendulum swing over. Does that sound like a plan to you?
Yeah.
So least favorite character, and now since I'm saying this, I've got to throw it to, and I said I was going to give you time. I got to throw it to myself. So who was my least favorite character? Because honestly, I think in my opinion, one of the strongest things from the show is the character work. I think they nailed the characters in general really, really well, and so it's a little bit harder. It's talking. Yeah, sorry. It's a little bit harder to kind of nail down a dislike character. Y'all, while I hem and haw around, who was your least favorite character in the show? But let's see. So I thought Moraine was really good. I thought Matt was really good. Perrin, honestly, as far as, I don't know, I might go with Perrin in the show, maybe. But I don't know that he.
What about some of the Aes Sedai, Leandrin?
Well, Leandrin was really strong, and Alana was really strong, and Corine was short lived. The problem with the amount of killing people off in season 1 is, we had a fridging in the first episode, and then we had Corine die later, and so and her only point was to push the plot and push some other things that apparently aren't even going to matter this first season. So they ended up killing several women. I'm struggling to come up with somebody. I didn't love Rand's character in the show, but I didn't love him in the first 2 or 3 books either. So that one's. I guess Rand is what I've got to say because I can't think of another strong one. What was your least favorite character from the show?
I had lots of time to think about it, didn't I? I gotta say Logain. No, I'm just kidding.
Logain was your least favorite? Yeah, I know that. Surprise of the century right there.
I don't know. I think I would have to say Loyal. Honestly,
Loyal.
I was looking.
You have been a loyal defender. You've been a loyal apologist this
I know.
Whole time.
I want him to stay alive.
He's been lying at Amazon shill. You heard it here first. He's been lying to you this whole time. The check has cleared, people. Check has cleared.
Yep, it's in the bank. So no,
anyway, sorry.
No, you're fine. I don't know. I've had a little bit of time to think. I've actually rewatched about half. I think I've gotten through episode 4. So I've rewatched about half the series. And he's fine. I feel as the episodes continue, they are so rushed that they don't give him any time to breathe. They don't even give him time to.
He is much more rushed himself than he should be. Yes.
And that detracts from him. I don't have a problem with the way he looks. I know that was a thing with other people. And I do wish he was a little bit bigger. Some things like that.
I've actually kind of come around to some of his looks myself.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with them at all.
I've not been bothered too much.
But I just feel like he's like the least developed, and I know he's not a main character, but I feel like he's so underdeveloped for. I just remember vividly reading book 1. And him being like one of the most interesting parts, other than, of course, the magic system and other things. It was like when he got introduced at the Queen's Blessing. Is that where the inn was? Queen's Blessing, something like that.
In Camelin, though. In
Camelin at the inn. He got introduced, and him and Matt and him and Rand and all that stuff. And Rand being able to play. I think they played some chess together and some random things and had lots of discussions.
Yeah, and the introduction to Loyal is, or as they're saying in the show, Loyal. Is more.
What's his name?
What?
Brother Book. Sorry.
Brother Book. Yeah.
Brother Book.
His introduction in the books is much more comical.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of hit it in the show, sort of. But Rand is like, Trolloc, oh my gosh, and pulls his sword out. Oh my gosh, he's gonna kill me, and and whatever else. And then in the show, we kind of get that sort of thing, sort of.
Yeah.
That's and that's as we excuse me, sorry, y'all, dry air here in West Texas. But as we get, once we get into talking about season 2, that's one of the areas that I'm really hoping, and I'm afraid they're not going to get a ton of time to expand and all of that in season 2 either, because we're still only talking 8 episodes, and so we're hopefully. I heard season 3 was confirmed. I didn't go and look up to see what the episode count was and all of that, but I'm hoping that they're able to kind of slow down.
Didn't it come out recently that it was like the largest it was
viewership? Amazon's biggest show of the year. Actually, it was one of the biggest shows, period, sci-fi fantasy shows of the year for sure. It was definitely Amazon's biggest of the year. As we think about video ideas, Jonathan and I have our own little Discord server that we use for work Discord and all that kind of stuff and whatever. And so we have a channel on there where we'll randomly, have an idea and kind of stick it in there. And I had a thought I saw an article, I think it was Business Insider or somebody talking about that, it was the best show of the year for a whole bunch of stuff and whatever. And I put it. Maybe we should do a video all the time. Maybe it's time for the book cloaks to admit that they were wrong. Well, because I had just, and mostly because I still see comments of people on whatever else on different things, and I can understand not liking the show. I'm not even talking about that, but people that I've still seen people saying, "Hey, yeah, I think the show's going to get canceled." Like, I don't know what data you're basing that on, but there's no way right now. I mean,
I think I've kind of come into the field. I think there's a lot of these people, and I think I'm kind of come into this that I'm hopeful for everything that's happening.
Yes.
And I'm very excited for the fact that there's so many people watching.
Yes.
That we will obviously get to continue at least for several seasons at this point. And this is the one and only chance, at least probably in our lifetime, that we will see a Wheel of Time adaptation. And so I'm excited about it. So I know, if you don't like it, that's fine. I don't have any problem with you not liking it. That's your own opinion.
That's understandable,
and whatever.
Honestly. I mean, I get.
And we both have many qualms with many different things, even though we seem positive all the time. We have problems with lots of stuff that they're doing, or that we don't like, that doesn't go along with science.
As we've got away from season 1 that I like less and less, the dragon reveal, and of course from episode 8 stuff, and some of the character changes specifically, and some of it is indicative of the way Hollywood changes characters. We can jump into comments real quick, and then I want to talk about Nynaeve specifically before we jump into future stuff, and some changes early on to her that the more I think about it, the less I like.
Less you're liking? Okay. So. All right, so we got By the Things. Yeah,
Barney Harris was a great Matt.
Yeah.
110% agree.
Yep, Vidya says, I don't mind any pronunciation. We are very amazingly close enough.
Well, that's
good. Good.
Guys, if you're on here and you haven't been following Meat and Mischief and our channel and haven't noticed some of the Indian cinema stuff that we've been doing, we've been kind of we're going to kind of slow down on it. But we plan to still continue to do some of that. And if you are a Wheel of Time watcher or Arcane watcher or Lord of the Rings,
come on Arcane, come on Lord of the Rings,
all of those things, you ought to at least take a minute to check out our reaction to some of these trailers and things and whatever else.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you can at all stomach subtitles, that we've watched several. Especially the Malayalam cinema stuff that we subbed or dubbed or whatever that are honestly really good. Minal Virali is both easily one of our favorites, both of ours in the last year or so.
Yep.
And
of all films we've watched, so that's
English language and otherwise.
Yeah.
So if you haven't checked out those, you ought to at least watch our reaction, and that's not even to get us views, just. That'll take you less time than going and watching the whole film or whatever. But
yeah, awesome. Vidya says least favorite character is Abel Cawthon for me. I was a fan of his character in the books. Yep, especially because his character helped
So before
from Matt Spaces.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm
love
trying
everyone
to talk
else
as you're sitting there
to be
reading the thing,
honest.
and nobody can understand it. I'm sorry. It's late or something.
Oh, and then she says, "How can you disloyal?" I know.
No.
I'm sorry, but I guess he was rushed. Not the actor's fault. No, the actor.
No.
I am definitely not saying the actor did a bad job. I loved him.
He
I
actually
just
did a really good job.
I felt the writing
Ahmed was really
and
good.
the amount of time that they let him be on screen was rushed, and it made him feel like not his character.
Well, and some of the directing,
It was
on
not
certain
the
part,
acting.
like during the.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I can understand why because of the shortened period of time, the ways in there. He some of the line delivery in there was quicker.
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
suspect based on on other scenes we've seen him, I suspect that's less an acting
And more
issue and
time.
more directing issue.
Yeah.
Because
I love the first two scenes he's in. The one with Rand, where they're in the study kind of area with
Right.
the books, and then it may not be the second scene, but the scene that he's in where he brings Nynaeve in to see Matt and Rand.
that is very funny.
Those are both loyal scenes.
Really good.
They are really good for his character. It's just everything after that I felt was kind of rushed. But, yep. Anyway, what were you trying to say before that?
Abel Cawthon.
Yeah, Abel.
I haven't talked much about that, but as much as I like the changes they did to Matt's family from a Matt standpoint. Like, I like what it did to his early character growth and his early character, not as much growth yet, but more his development and his backstory and, interest for the character. I like that. However, I hope that in the future they can redeem what they've done to Abel Cawthon. Because I really like his character in the book. Because to me, Abel Cawthon in the book is a more mature Matt. Quite a bit more mature Matt. And you get some of the dismissiveness and fearfulness of Aes Sedai and some of the joking and lightness, but you get it in a much more mature way. And some of his scenes with Tam later on in the series and some of that, I guess that's technically mild spoiler. He exists later in the books. Sorry if that ruins your life. Sorry, not sorry, or something. I really would be sorry if you were upset about it. Don't want to upset somebody on that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wasn't real thrilled with that for Abel Cawthon. But I do really like what it did for Matt. So I don't know. I'm kind of like...
Well, I agree. I agree with that it was good for Matt. The thing that, for me, that makes it a little weird is later on, specifically in the books, I guess spoilers, but not really. Not plot spoilers. There's several of the men from the Two Rivers together, and you see lots of just good camaraderie and good them working together and things. Just I don't know, and so it's going to be.
And we could still get some of that, and they could actually do a sort of a redemptive arc with him. That's true. We'd have to get more episodes and more, for them to have time to do something like that. But I could see his character turning out okay. Yeah. Maybe. And so I don't know how. I don't know. Yeah. Fully how I feel about that. So
you can go to the next one.
Ialthus BC. Sure. Why not? Oh no! What happened? Sorry. No, it wasn't you. It was my machine. Taking bets based on how they hugged the girls when Matt brought them back. Season 3 will have reformed. I think that you're talking kind of like what I was talking about. I think season 3 will have reformed Cawthon parents.
Oh yeah,
how they hugged the girl. Oh, when Matt brought. When he brought them back to safety and stuff. Yes. I really do think that it's possible that they have a small arc for his family, which I would like. I think that could be really cool as a kind of a side plot for Matt. I think that would be. He
kind of gets clean or something. Yeah. And Vidya says, "I really hope so." And then we got Lil Cat. I think that's what this says. Hello, my cat recommendation. Oh, this is in this one of your students. My cat recommended this to me. 10 of 10.
Yeah, probably so.
Yes, I think we've had this.
Someone say more mature Matt. Matthew said.
Oh yeah.
Someone say more mature Matt. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
We want a more mature Matt. I guess is what he's saying.
We want a more mature.
Wanting a more. I guess.
Or is it Matthew needs to be a more mature Matt? He is a more mature Matt.
I don't know. I don't think this Matthew is more mature, Matt. I happen to know him, so.
Well, he doesn't have a gambling problem.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Nynaeve. That's where I was gonna go.
Okay. So Nynaeve.
So something I think I've talked about it on a live stream or something briefly, but so one change from the book. This is, I guess, an Eye of the World spoiler, essentially, but it's not a big one, and it's not plot affecting. So,
okay.
Excuse me. The way that Nynaeve ended up rejoining the group. So in the show, what happens, of course, is she's yeeted off into the woods by a Trolloc, right? She gets dragged by her opponent, which, if you, then behind the scenes, the whole rig thing that they had to do to make that practical effect work is actually pretty cool. So that's neat. But she gets dragged off by her hair into the woods, and then she kills a Trolloc by using her wits and cunning and her tenacity and her kick-butteriness and whatever else. And then, for some reason, what?
Nothing.
Are y'all laughing at me? Am I saying something stupid?
No.
Buttery.
No.
Butteriness.
Kick butteriness. I'm trying not to say ass on camera. Okay.
Children, cover your ears
Cover
if you're
your
listening.
ears. So anyway, so her kick buttness is excuse me. And so that's and then in the show, she doesn't know that the kids were taken. She doesn't know that happened. Nothing. Whatever else. She does know that there was a Trolloc /Murdral attack on the city, and she's the wisdom, aka healer, aka person that needs to go take care of sick people. And so for some reason, she goes running off, tracking after these footprints that she has apparently discovered, and somehow magicked her way out, and she needs to go.
Moraine's tell.
Yeah, she is early. She's figured out Moraine's tell. Maybe she wears a perfume.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Or something. Yeah, Moraine's tell. And so she goes and tracks him, whatever else. And so two things that change does. So before I talk about the change, what happens in the book is not that. Right, she doesn't get carried off in the woods. The attack it doesn't happen quite like in the show. It's similar. A lot of it happens off screen and so or off page, and so we don't see. We're in Rand's perspective most of the time there. So it may be really similar or kind of, that doesn't matter. The point is they kind of resolve it at the end. And then Moraine, of course, has her triumphant Manetheren speech, which I'm still sad that they didn't have in the show. I mean, they had it, but didn't have it in the show. But
didn't have it at the right time.
Yeah, didn't have it at the right time or the right way with the right impact. But ultimately they decide to go with Moraine. The kids do, and she leaves. They argue in OFT, and so they all go off, and then everybody else is like, "Oh my gosh, she kidnapped our kids," because they kind of sneak away or whatever, basically. And oh my gosh, they kidnapped our kids. We need to have a town council meeting and figure out what's going to happen and how are we gonna get these people back and whatever else. And Nynaeve is like, we got to do this and whatever. And eventually Nynaeve is like, you know what, y'all are gonna sit around and talk until they die or something else.
So I'm gonna go get them.
I'm gonna go get them. Yeah. I'm gonna go get these people because forget you people, whatever else. And so the difference there, and this is what I'm talking about with a kind of a, I don't know if failing is the right word, but a tendency in Hollywood-esque stuff is the way strength works. And part of it, is time. The way they did shoot it, it took less time than the way it was written in the book.
Yeah.
Right. And so that is part of it. That's just a pure logistical issue. There are a lot of failings in season 1 because of time, right? I mean, that's a fact. I mean, I don't think anybody disagrees with that. I'm sure even the people involved in the show would agree with that. Excuse me. So there's that, but then also I think because of the way they did it with Nynaeve going and killing the Trolloc and all this stuff, is this misunderstanding of what strength is, and like I don't have a problem with a kick butt female character, kick butt male character, or whatever else, and all I can say a really great series, right? That is Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn. It's got a super kick butt female character. And she's amazing. One of my favorite characters in literature, easily. So it's not that Nynaeve shouldn't be kick butt. It's just that we need to show her strength and her kick buttedness by having her kill a friggin' Trolloc by going Apocalypse Now out of the pool and stabbing him or whatever else.
Yeah.
Instead of showing her strength, now her foolish immaturity as well, because you can have both. You can have two things at once. But her strength of character of, no, this needs to be taken care of. Because that is a strength of her character from day one. Now, as is true with real people, in real life, your greatest strength is often your greatest weakness too. And they're tied. And so that's true for her.
That's very true.
But a huge strength of Nynaeve is her strength of character and her grit and her tenacity and her willingness to make a decision and get after it and go and do the thing.
Stick with it.
And so it needing to have Apocalypse Now Nynaeve, to me, diminishes her character. And it because it's kind of like some of the stuff I've said with that actually I think is good about what some of the things they did with Rand at the end of the series in the show for the opposite reason and whatever else, because they show his strength through and not through calling lightning randomly because you have a I guess not ancestor, you have a past self that can magic you or whatever, and whatever else. But that's, a different thing. So that's what I have to say on Nynaeve. I don't know what y'all saw.
Spoiler alert there. Sorry for show watchers.
No,
past self.
We said show spoilers.
I know, but they don't link that character yet. We know about that character, but he's not linked to Rand. Anyway.
Well, we know that they know that the Dragon Reborn has been reborn.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Know that much.
That's true.
I didn't say who it was.
That's true. Kick butteriness.
Wow. Yeah.
That's we need to put that on shirts. Kick butteriness. Butteriness.
With a little butter
smooth. Buttery smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're eventually going to put out some merch.
We are. We're
sure
actually we're actually working towards that at the moment. So awesome. Well,
yeah. Any other season 1 character stuff that we want to do?
Well,
before we
sign off, what are we at?
Well, not sign off, but
before we move into season 2.
Yeah.
Or future. No, I can't really think of anything. I mean, my frustrations lie kind of with yours, but with Rand and how he was treated at the end. I mean, it came around and it was good, but the whole not knowing who he was, and I had a little bit of a problem with the ending, just him not being able to show off as much power as he was able to. But other than that, I mean, and I think we're going to get there. I think there's a little problem with them showing Nynaeve's kind of power as far as her explosive power and being able to heal all these people and almost bring them back from the dead. They're going to run out of what is that called? It's like,
so here's the first question. So let's say at this moment from now till the end of the video, we're going to go into book spoiler through book 3. We'll say book 3 because I think that's easily safe. I doubt we're going to talk about anything more. If we do, we'll give you enough warning. You can plug your ears and whatever else for a few seconds and move on. But so at this point, question for you and question for y'all is, are they going to well, I won't say what I'm thinking yet, but are they going to keep Nynaeve's block? Is that still going to be a thing in the show? Or are they going to cut that? Are they going to find a way? Or are they gonna go full Super Saiyan Nynaeve and she's just uber duper powerful and not have any sort of checks and balances on her or whatever else? What are they gonna do as far as that's concerned?
I think it would be very. I would not like it if they didn't keep her block, because I guess
not
they
what
could
you
go.
Want. What do you?
Well, yeah, I guess they could go the route of kind of limiting her by her knowledge, and so she can only she has these kind of wilder moments where she can do things, but then if she wants to specifically do something, she has to learn how to do that. I guess that would be, but I think the block is so integral to her character development in that I hope they don't do that.
Right.
I don't know whether or not they're going to not do that, because we have yet to see it, especially with the ending and the circle that they did and all that kind of stuff. Who knows?
So I'm not seeing any thoughts from y'all.
What are y'all? Yeah, I don't think anybody's.
So I don't want to spoil your thoughts, but so there is evidence that they are going to keep the block, right?
Okay.
That's there's the whole scene in Faldara where her not being able to sense the wind since she channeled me or whatever else,
right.
and she hasn't channeled herself since then. It's clear that it's clear that linking is kind of confusing in the books anyway, and they're potentially going to change the way it works a little bit too.
I honestly think I think they need to simplify some things, and I don't know.
Well, I think they're planning
and
to.
I think that's what they're trying to do, but they have confused the heck out of the rest of us who kind of thought that we knew what was going on.
Right.
But anyway, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
So there's heavy evidence that she doesn't, or some evidence.
If Rand being able to break down an ironwood or whatever the heck she called it door is evidence of him being the Dragon Reborn, then this is like it's strobe light, but it's I mean there is a small evidence. We did get a couple people. I'm sure there's a little bit of delay, which is why I didn't wait quite long enough. I should have hemmed and hawed another second. So Vidya says, I hope they keep Nynaeve's block or some problem with her channeling in some way. Maybe her lack of control, but I do prefer the block.
And then Altheus said, I think it's Altheus. Altheus.
Mm-hmm.
She can't.
Aelthas.
She can't listen to the wind anymore. You're exactly right. That's what Sean was saying. That's what I'm sure that was your thought before him.
Yeah, probably.
Before him speaking it.
Yeah.
No. I hope that's what they do. I think there's too many nuances in this show that are in the books that I'm afraid if they rip them all out, it's just going to be another show. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like there's so many.
So one thing. Okay, so the next question, actually,
so many nuances.
Oh, you know what? Instead of doing
magic,
this, I'm going to make a poll in the thing. I'm going to pretend like
Look
I'm
at
Mad
you.
Hatch. How do I do that? Will
Down. There you
they keep?
He's talking. While he's talking. So in the future, let's see. What are y'all's thoughts on Dark Friends as we go in? That's kind of been on my mind. I know there's several Dark Friends and or Forsaken that are going to show up in season 2, hopefully. And so I really thought they did a great job with the one Dark Friend that we got. I guess 2 if you include Pot on Fane. But anyway, I am looking forward to what they do there, and I'm really hoping they don't mess up the Forsaken that we're going to see. And I guess I can say her since what is her name before she's the Forsaken name? I can't remember that name.
Lanfear early, but Serene is
Serene. There you go. Lanfear.
Assuming we're talking about the same.
Yes, we are. I was trying to. Anyway, I'm hoping they don't mess up Serene. So that's my hope is for next season that they do that really, really well. We've talked about that in the past with the Forsaken, that we're hoping that the Forsaken don't end up like a lot of the Forsaken do in the books and kind of fall flat or have big problems with stupidity almost. Just kind of dumb bad guys.
So there's a little bit of with the Forsaken, there's a little bit of a teeter-totter there. Because I like some of the pettiness and humanness almost, if you will, of the Forsaken, but the sheer level of incompetence sometimes is, especially in the earlier-ish books, but excuse me, but in the earlier-ish books, they're even more so. And so I hope that they're not as incompetent. You know, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know whether I'm surprised that we only got one Forsaken so far. I guess I pretty much expected that we don't know anything. It's funny, for all the huge amount of world building they did in season 1, there's still so much more, which, I mean, that's true early in the books too, and I'm not stressed about that actually in general. But
what's crazy is world building and magic building continue on throughout all the books.
Sure.
I mean, there's so much stuff
up to the last book. I mean,
exactly.
Honestly,
exactly.
Whatever else,
because
we get spoil that far, but
yeah.
But there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening.
Yep. Yes, Serene.
So,
that is Celine. Celine? Maybe it is.
The next thing that
So what was your question? Will they keep Nynaeve's block?
Yes. 80% of you said yes, they will.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. I think that was probably a bit of a gimme poll, maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. That's a wishful thing. So I think the next thing that we should talk about is Rand. Mm-hmm. And what are we thinking? So two things. Two. We can take it both, so we can kind of spin this out. Excuse me. What are they going to do with Rand now that he's left and Moraine has inexplicably let him leave? Maybe she put a coin in his pocket. We're going to bring the whole coin thing back, or something, or maybe I haven't seen Alan on, but maybe he's under compulsion, or something.
He has a tell.
He has a tell. Yeah, Rand has a tell. I don't. But anyway, so what are they going to do with him? How are they going to get him to where? How is the show going to get him where he needs to be? For one thing, and number two, what do we want to see as far as character growth? Because they've done extra as far as character growth for Perrin and for Egwene. Not Egwene. Well, kind of Egwene. Not a lot, but a little bit of Egwene. But Perrin and Matt and even Nynaeve, they've done more than the books did early on as far as their character growth. But they did nothing more with Rand. He's about where he was in book 1, kind of bland Rand, as I think some booktuber said. I don't remember who it was. Somebody said it's probably that lady's name. Whatever. Anyway, whatever. That doesn't matter. But so I'm hoping, and I'm sure y'all are too, that we get some more better character growth and development with Rand. So what are they going to do with him as far as like physical location and plot wise to get him where he needs to go? And what do we want to see as far as improvement? And what could they change? Because they've changed that with Perrin and Matt. So what could they tweak to make it work better?
Well, he's got to mature, first of all. I think he's kind of almost the babyish one. He's the youngest acting one of the main 5, the Emmonsfield 5, in my opinion. And so he's got to mature some. And knowing where he's headed with the famous chapter that y'all had me, I can't remember what it's called, Gold something.
Oh, yeah, the Veins of Gold.
Veins of Gold, yeah. Veins of Gold is a freaking phenomenal chapter when you get there. I don't remember, book 10 to book 11, something like that. Yeah. But knowing where he's headed with that, they've got to start darkening him. But they've got to get him mature before they do that, because if they have a copy, and they have to have connection, and if they just start copying what they did with whiny Matt, we're going to have, problem there. If they kind of have a,
what are you talking about? Like that they have a dagger-esque thing? What are you?
Well, just whiny Matt, like whiny.
Just grumpy Rand.
Grumpy Rand. Okay. Like if they just do that, it's going to be really boring for his character.
Celine has many ways to help him mature.
Yes, she does. Okay, Vidya said, let's go back there and see what she said. I don't think the acting would be bad, but I hope the writing for the Forsaken is good. I hope they power up more though, and lose their stupidity at times. Yeah, I agree. Rand, I think, would try to go get some answers, but Lanfear will probably try to direct him to Tyr.
So where is Rand going? Where does he think? Is he going into the woods? Is he gonna go to the Io Waste? I mean, we did that. That's probably my strongest guess, because mainly because we've got so many connections in season 1. They mentioned the Aiel thing several times. And enough times that I think non-book readers could maybe sort of kind of understand what the heck was happening if he thought he was going to go figure out who the Aiel were. We also saw him sort of reading the Koreathon cycle. So he may be already interested in prophecy. If he's interested in prophecy, where's he going to do? Because he's not going to go to the White Tower. There's no way.
No,
There's
but
no way
if you remember why he ran away from everybody to begin with was because he was afraid of hurting people, hurting those around him. So my assumption is that, he's either going to head to the Aiel Waste or somewhere. So if he knows prophecy, what's the next thing? The I don't even remember. Prophecy? Yeah, I can't remember what it is. He's heading to
the Herons is really early, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
in the cycle.
But he wouldn't know where he wouldn't know where to get that.
Somebody on our Discord was suggesting that they may take that out. I am curious to see. Well, they've not enumerated anything from the Koreathon cycle or any other prophecies in the show. A lot of people are speculating on our Discord and other places that they're going to change that and alter that or nix it.
Well, because he was reading them, right? But we don't know.
Yes.
We didn't actually see what they said.
I'd have to go back and look and see whether it shows it in there or not.
But or he says he was. I don't remember. Yeah. Anyway,
it's when he meets
Loyal.
I don't know about that pronunciation, man.
I don't know. He could.
He may be trying to hermit himself, and go live in the woods.
Essentially what I was saying.
If they're doing that, I don't know. I mean, I guess somebody goes and finds. Landfear finding him makes sense. I mean, he could honestly still stumble. The thing that another thing I was thinking earlier, this is less character focused and more plot focused, is I was surprised in was it episode 7's cold open where we got the whole LTT stuff and the futuristic past. Mm-hmm. I was surprised we saw that on screen, and because of that, I'm wondering whether we get portal worlds and some of that kind of stuff, so he could still fall asleep on a portal zone,
and they may do more with dreams, showing him things. The thing that I'm just now thinking, his actual perception is that he fixed everything, right? His perception at that moment, at the end.
Yes.
So he thinks it's done.
Yes.
So at this point, he's just, I want to get out so that I not hurt anybody, because I know that I'm going to go mad at some point.
Yeah. So he thinks it's all done. No Tarvin Gaiden.
There's nothing left. Yeah. I finished it. I fixed it.
I'm going to go
and I'm going to
find a boat.
Yeah.
Get him sailing off.
What do y'all think? Where do you think Rand's going to go?
He meet the Shan Chen early? I doubt it, but he could be headed that way. You never know.
Yeah.
So Media says, I hope he does accept his Aiel heritage, excuse me, and try to find out more about himself.
That would be an interesting way to do it.
That, to me, in my brain, that makes the most sense. I mean, it's not getting him away from people, but it's not getting him away from all people, but it's getting him away from people he loves and cares about.
Yeah.
Hi, Adrian. How are you? Glad that you got to join us this evening.
Yeah.
And then Euphemistic Translation says, didn't Synopsis say he goes to Falma?
Oh.
Is there a synopsis with season 2? There could be.
There could be. I don't know. You can look that up. I'll keep going.
Yeah.
Alphys? I don't know. ABC. That's what I'm going to call you. ABC.
No, you got to go hick on it.
Alphys.
We're going to butcher it. You may as well go.
The library and Carrion. Yeah. Isn't he felt there? Isn't felt there. Wait, what?
Feld?
I don't know.
No, Feld is a different character in a different book. What is it?
Said, the library and carry on. Oh, maybe that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, in the show it was
prophecy.
In what are we calling it in the show? Tarvalon?
Yeah.
Tarvalon. Was that the show pronunciation?
Tarvalon.
This audiobook to show and
I know. It's killing me.
It's
killing me because I'm.
And then in the first 2 or 3 books of the audiobooks, they change pronunciations a couple times on some stuff. Yeah. Is it Mogadine or Mogedian?
Well, I think what probably happened is they got finished reading them, and then he got to listen to them. Robert Jordan got to listen to them and was like, you're doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
Fix it. And so anyway, Vidya said, but the prophecy details might come later. Yeah. And the portal might be nice. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to portal stones. The dream stuff to be a little bit more fleshed out for sure. Fell the guy who helped him translate the prophecies. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he's in Carry On, or I can't even say that stupid Carry On. How do you say that dang city? Kyrian. There you go. Kyrian.
Carrion sounds great.
That's
Carrion
Texan.
birds. Get the ravens.
Carry on. We're gonna do
apparently episode
how to pronounce Wheel of Time in Texas.
that would be a fun video. We should make a little 2-minute how to pronounce, and we should do that.
Ter Valen.
We should do that in Lord of the Rings and whatever else. That would be a fun, silly video to make.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. So
I'm not finding a synopsis. If somebody knows of where synopsis
drop the
let us
drop the link in the comment.
Drop the link in there.
Awesome. Well, we're almost at 10.
We are. We're getting close to our.
You have any more specific things that you wanted to talk about?
So we talked about Matt. We talked about Rand.
Talked about 90 a little bit.
The big #stilled
shielded
debate is still alive and well, I'm sure. But if you're not familiar, we're talking about Moiraine, of course, and was she staled or was she shielded? But my more, as far as what I am more interested in, and I've said this before, is regardless, not irregardless, that's not a word,
irregardless,
but regardless of what it is, whether it's stilled or shielded or something else or whatever else, my more interesting question is, what is it going to do to her? And with the whole episode 6 thing, can she go back to the White Tower because of whatever the heck is happening? And if she can, what's going to happen there? Is Swan going to fix it for her? Is Nynaeve going to Super Saiyan her? Or is something going to happen there? Or are other people going to have to go? Are we going to get kind of like the beginning of Gathering Storm? Not that book. What is the second book called? Great Hunt. Something with another thing with a G. Where Swan goes to Faldara, and obviously not going to capture Podon Faye, and we're not going to have that. That's obviously changed. We're going to have to do Hunt for the Horn and Hunt for the Dagger. I still hope we get a dual hunt where it's for Loyal and for Matt, because that actually was confirmed. I don't know if y'all probably did, but.
Loyal is
Brother
not
Book
dead.
lives.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so that one's confirmed. I don't know that he confirmed any other deaths. I don't remember any. But yeah. So yeah, how is that going to affect Moiraine? What is it going to affect her character? And how is she going to deal with that? And is she going to feel useless? Or is she going to, as many have suggested, is she going to dive headlong into research mode? And become a honorary Brown for a while.
Varen.
And
we do have Varen coming, right?
Or
do we not have that?
There is a casting made that a lot of fans are speculating is Varen, but I don't think it's been confirmed.
Gotcha.
I could be lying, but yeah.
I am hoping, I don't know, there's many different ways, like you said, it could go. I'm wondering if they do have her feel like she's shielded to the point that she does just go back thinking that, but I don't know. The thing that puts me against shielded so hard is that Lan didn't go berserk. And because that would be, I still say, I
don't really remember a clear-cut time in the book where stilling causes the battle rage.
Well, that's
I don't.
But wouldn't
remember
stilling sever the tie? Maybe it. Maybe it wouldn't.
It would sever the tie, but you can you can remove a bond without it damaging the order or whatever.
That's true.
I
can release them from the bond.
Unless there's something that a few people have mentioned a few things, but I have not seen any that is like really concrete enough for me to say like that. Okay, that's evidence that says, okay, yeah, you're right. And like we've said many times, they could be changing things for the show.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, what they did with Steppen, clearly it doesn't work quite the same, not remotely.
Yeah.
Because he should have gone on berserk rage out on the battlefield, but they needed him to do his axe thing with Logain, and whatever else. So clearly they could be taking liberties as well. But I'm not buying that as a for sure evidence myself. I do think still it is possible. I still wonder about Shielded. They have shown already to do not Shielded, Stilled. I still wonder about Stilled as a possibility. I still do think that's a possibility. I literally don't care which one it is, personally. I really don't. I think they both have merit and both have potential and possibilities and all of that. So I really don't care which one it is. But I do think that still is possible because they've shown several times in season 1 of them strategically not showing the audience weaves at certain times. And that twist and pull thing, it still could be tying off a shield. That's possible too. But it looked, I still say it looked, the way it was shot with her, it looked like something was coming out of her mouth, not in. Yeah. And so I don't know. I am curious on that one. I'm not absolutely sold, but I'm not at all convinced that it absolutely is shielded personally still, but I may still be in the extreme minority on that one, which is fine. I don't mind being all by my lonesome.
Well, you probably are. It's okay.
Probably so. That's fine. And what I really hope.
I think the poll just told us everything we needed to know that first time.
Oh yeah, we did do a poll. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did do a poll. Well, see, if I'm right and all of y'all are wrong, you better believe I'm going to make a solo video. It's not going to be no short either.
Oh Lord!
Saying, hashtag
we're gonna have an hour. We're going to have an hour and a half of Sean ranting about how it was I'm going to make a
t-shirt. Hashtag stilled, not shielded. Was right.
Yep, exactly. That's hilarious. ABC out. What? How are you saying it? Ale-Fast. There you go. Ale-Fast. Is it Barthanes? Barthanes was cast for season 2, so someone is going there. Might as well be Rand. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Wheel of Time fan edit project. Hello, all. What did you miss? A lot. You should go back and watch the beginning.
Talking characters.
Yep, we're just talking about characters.
They're all awful. We hated everything. We've changed all our opinions. The check cleared.
Yep.
And
now that we've been paid,
Wheel of Time sucks and it's awful and whatever else.
All right. So Vidya said probable synopsis was posted in other channels. No confirmation as to if it is good. Gotcha.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, there's lots of. We tried, generally speaking. We do. We obviously make predictions and guesses. Obviously, hashtag stilled and shielded is a guess. Whatever else.
Yeah.
And so we do that, and we love doing that as much as you guys do. But we try to avoid like leaks and stuff because to us that's just not in the spirit of doing stuff. So I don't know. Who knows? And we as we do this more and more, maybe our predictions will get better and better and all those kind of things.
Hopefully.
Nameless on a Nameless video for synopsis. I would trust Nameless video before I would trust many other scoopers and people out there. So that's, I feel like he's more scoopery and newsy, but I would trust his before many.
But he says, I feel Moraine is shielded, not stilled. You're right. I don't think she will go back to the White Tower. She might go to some other place to study the prophecies in detail.
The libraries in Kyrian maybe, or something else. Or?
The girls are definitely going back to the White Tower, right? That's pretty much they need to.
Yeah, I don't
know. They need some cool off time. They need some.
So Wheel Time fan edit project says Loyal Fake Death was really terrible. they made such a big point of adding 2 slicing, stabbing sound effects with Fane's dagger. So the fact that it is Fane's dagger is my least favorite thing about that. I didn't actually hate that fake out death as much as I did like Nynaeve's and stuff there. And if Agilmar was a fake out death, that one is even dumber in a way. But what I like about that fake out death is everybody, well, this is not quite true, but pretend like it is. Everybody kind of loved Brother Book, right? And so it felt more like, oh my gosh, this dude is evil because he's killing this beloved, soft, gentle giant character.
Yeah.
Now, of course, fake out death ultimately reduces the emotional impact for the viewers, but it does not reduce the emotional disgust and hatred and revelation of Padan Fane. And so for me, that fake out death bugs me less. But
can I just say that fake out deaths, I'm going to go on a little rant for just a second.
Careful.
My rants are short, but
some comment.
No, I said my fake out. I mean, my rants are short. Anyway,
my
yeah. Anyway,
I guess I'll leave. You have
no. I just fake out deaths. We coming from.
Be careful.
What? No, I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
There are fake out deaths in Wheel of Time, and there are several of them, and we won't go any further than that. I'll leave it there. But coming from the Game of Thrones aspect of things, being so like amazed by the fact that you can kill off a main character so quickly, and things happen,
so
and
amazing.
More main
Kill
characters
people you
die,
care
and
about.
all that
Real
kind of
stakes.
stuff. The fake out deaths are just even worse now for me. Like, I'd almost rather them just not fake out. They don't have to kill anybody off, but just don't, like, I don't know. Maybe seriously injured.
Some people still don't like deaths of good guys in stuff at all. I think my mother-in-law is probably in that, but I definitely don't mind deaths done well and done right.
No.
But it really depends on a fake out death. Because I said like on our Arcane video, if you've not watched our Arcane video, you got to talk about the way I get I don't tend to get emotionally wrapped up in like caring about characters as much. Like
Such a good show.
when I get impacted, when I tear up in a movie or something, it's because something connects with something in me, not because I'm like convincing myself this character is a real person and having emotions like they're a real person. It's hard to describe.
Well, I think that's kind of
it's different.
Yeah,
it's different
it is
for different
different.
people because I know some people they
get emotionally attached to a character.
They are very upset about that. That's not when I get upset about stuff, and so because of that, I feel like for me personally, fake out deaths bother me less. Now, if they're overused in something, or if
that's where I feel like we're going, and that's my problem with them. Is I feel like we're just doing a million of them for the fun of it.
For the fun of it, it's fun to toy with your emotions.
Elfas, BC. Would have to go back over Demise Wells to get that.
I don't know what
we're talking about either.
That is book. I was almost going to say something on Demise Wells as well.
Yeah.
There's
that's
with
book 5, 6. Yeah, 6.
Actually, with Rand's I will say this in a vague way so that those of you who know. But as far as Rand's character arc, we're going to have to do enough to where Demise Wells is impactful, and more importantly for me, the stuff leading up to Demise Wells. Yes. And so that's a big character.
Yes.
I don't know what that is. I don't know which part we're referring to here, but I was thinking about that Demise Wells earlier when we were talking about Rand for sure.
Wheel of Time fan edit project said, I believe Rafe mentioned that they will play up the story arc of Moraine going to visit Adelaide.
And Bandine.
Yep, and Bandine to learn. Yep.
He may have. I've seen some people suggesting that. Even I haven't been keeping up really, really well with what he's been saying. We've got so many things. We're trying to
too many pots in the fire.
Too many irons in the fire. A little bit. Trying to keep our YouTube channel afloat now that the season's over. Tell your friends and family we still are alive. We're still having fun and all of that. But,
we are.
But we
hope they have a valid reason for getting Loyal stabbed. If it's just a fake off, that would be horrible. Yeah,
I still think the reason is specifically Pot on Fane and showing kind of because up until that moment he was just creepy Shadow Man. I mean, most non-book readers that I watched, they understood that he was probably bad and probably not a great guy, but but what does that mean? And so I feel like that especially, I mean, if it just been this Rat and the two Fades killing the the Faldarans and all of that, it wouldn't have had the same impact. As him as Loyal groveling there and him just not even paying attention. So I really think it's because of Pot on Fane. Whether you like that or not, I mean, that's subjective and your what you feel, especially with it being a fake out death and all that. But I really think that's why they did it, personally. But.
Something that I feel like is, and maybe it's not as much missing. I know it comes more in later books, but I feel like we got less POV from the bad guys.
Oh yeah, we don't get that much at all.
We only had one
in book one, but I don't remember any POV.
Oh
from
yeah,
the bad
you
guys
may be
until,
right. I'm just ready for more of that,
Dark
though.
Friend Social.
I'm ready for more of that. Yeah,
Will
which
there
I think
be a Dark Friend Social in season 2?
I hope so,
because that's a fun little thing.
It is
confusing, but intentionally so.
Yep.
So Wheel of Time fan edit project says they'll turn the Loyal stabbing into the role that should have gone to Matt. They'll need to take him to Tarval and to heal him. That's entirely possible. Plausible even. It's clear that well, I don't know if it's totally clear, but I think it's also probable that it's not just Loyal because of the way they chose to show the shots. Their found footage shots, I'm sure, of him entering Tarvalon and all that kind of stuff and whatever. So I suspect it probably will be Loyal, and I also suspect it'll be Matt too. A lot of people have suggested that maybe Varen will find Matt, which I would be down with. Her finding him in Tarvalon and helping that. I'm excited for Varen. She's easily one of my favorite side characters. She's great, super great. So
looking forward to any ranting. Yes,
we'll bring the rant.
That's right. Agomar had access to Min and made a point that he needed his armor that day.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, the whole armor thing is still a little bit confusing, and whatever else, because there's a lot of speculation on why she wore the armor and he didn't, whatever else, and all the different layers of what exactly was even going on there. I feel like that was if there was a point to it. I feel like they did a gosh danged awful job of selling that point to the audience. I think that if there was a point to the whole armor thing and whatever else, I think they should have made it a lot more clear.
It fell in deaf ears.
In the world,
or fell in deaf eyes.
What it had to do, why this matters and whatever else. I feel like that was a misstep in my opinion.
Yeah.
So in the show, Amelisa and Moraine really emphasize how Agomar doesn't use Min because he already knows the answers. They did play up his arrogance. I don't remember them emphasizing Agomar. I don't remember them talking about Agomar not using. Was that in the corridor scene? Maybe, probably.
Doesn't use Min. Maybe
where he doesn't use Min.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember them. They definitely play up his arrogance and pride in the show. Well, it's there in the book. Don't get me wrong. I think several people have talked about how terrible they did with Agomar, and he's not perfectly like the book, and he is missing some dimensions, I think. But I didn't think he was 20 seconds
as
with
him on screen almost,
as some people think. In my opinion, but
I think we're hurt by time badly.
Number one thing right now is time, which makes me say, I've been saying for a while that I think season 3 is where this show is really going to kick off. I hope my biggest hope for season 2 is it's good enough, and to keep those of us who are enjoying the show, and maybe even bring some more people in and whatever else. So
Awesome.
In regards to a stilling and what happens to warders, I'm like responding to you guys in real time. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's, our live streams,
okay, I
we try to
gotcha.
do things a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, gotcha. Let's see that. We would have to go back. Oh, do my as well to get that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Stilling.
Stilling.
Oh, yeah. If it happened, I don't remember the warders going berserk when the people were stilled, but that could be just a faulty memory. That's extremely possible. But I'd have to go back and look. But
I need to go back and read the book anyway.
He does still people there. That would be a good, if we're going to find it, that's probably
a good place to look. Yeah, for sure. We'll have time. Yes, I'm the corridor scene.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The corridor scene. Gotcha. The conversation between Moraine and Amelisa.
Yeah.
I hope season 3 gets 10 episodes each.
I hope so, too.
I hope we at least get 10 or 12 or 14 or 16. Yeah. Probably not going to happen. But, yeah, I hope we increase. I hope we either increase length of episodes, which they're probably long enough, or we get more time.
Number of episodes would be better, in my opinion. Yep. You know, as we're kind of getting close to the end here, I'm still really excited for this show. I think Jonathan is, and it seems like many of y'all are too.
Very much.
Definitely wasn't a perfect season 1. It was never going to be, and it's never going to be. I don't care how flipping amazing it is. You know, Lord of the Rings is considered by many people to be one of the best book adaptations of all time. I have some serious issues with quite a few things in it.
Yeah,
and whatever else, and it's still a great adaptation, and whatever else, and so it's, and the thing that about this show that is exciting to me is this show means we're one step closer to getting a Stormlight Archive show and a Mistborn movie, and
that's very true.
And whatever else, and continuing to, the more they film unfilmable things, the more we get interesting options and interesting stuff and whatever else. I'm actually really excited for this Lord of the Rings show. We'll have to do some lives on it real soon. We're going to do some videos on Lord of the Rings and all of that coming out really soon. And all of those things, kind of first age and second age history stuff that we're going to do. And if y'all, I've mentioned it once earlier, if y'all are not on our Discord, we would love to have you jump over there. That's a place where you can have more access to us for one thing, and we've also had some really great discussions. We've got one channel on there for Wheel of Time called Theoryholics Anonymous, where we talk about all kinds of different theories, some different out there and crossways and upways and sideways and backways theories.
That's right.
And we try to keep it a nice community where we can disagree and we can agree and we can agree to disagree and we can do it politely and whatever else, and we can present evidence and give
that Discord link is pinned at the top.
Yep, it is.
So yeah, I don't remember what I was going to say something to your earlier comment. What were you talking about at the beginning of that? No, it wasn't a rant. Oh well, I had something funny. All right, funny. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you so much for all your support. If you would I hope you can get on the Discord and join us there. If you'd like to support us, there's links down in the description of the video. What are we looking at?
I was looking at this comment from Wheel of Time. He put in a couple of comments that are good.
Regarding the Our Father's Armor scene, and you mentioning that they sold it really badly, how easily would it have been
to hint
that it was an Angreal of some kind and explain them wiping
There's a lot of people
Trollocs.
that have that theory. I still wonder about that theory. And again, if that was what they were doing, you're exactly right. How, even if it was a throwaway line for the book readers only, that was just enough so that people would be like, oh, okay, I get this now. I mean, whatever else. Screenwriting overall, I was really disappointed in the shameless plug for my project. I've edited around most of the things I've complained about. Oh, your fan edit doing a fan edit of the show. The name of your personage. The screenwriting, I think it was suffered from time.
Yep.
Number one. There have been a lot of people that have been a lot more upset about the screenwriting than I have been. And I think even Jonathan, I I think quite a few of the plotting choices and different choices that they made were a lot more spot on than a lot of people think. Would I have done some things different? Probably. Yeah. Do I have any experience in screenwriting? No, I don't. Which is not. I mean, not to say that total noobs can have good ideas. That's a fact, absolute fact. And so, there it is. So the screenwriting wasn't perfect, but I would say 90% of the problems I have with the screenwriting specifically are time based.
Yeah.
Personally,
I feel like and I agree with that statement, but I do agree that I had more problems with it than Sean did. But in the same vein, I think even if Robert Jordan himself were still alive and was doing the screenwriting, or Brandon Sanderson had a heavier hand,
have been able to do screenwriting.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Sorry. Or even if if Brandon Sanderson had a heavier hand in it, I don't think either one of them would have done a better job than what was done necessarily. Just that, because there's such a disconnect between books and visuals, and doing that right. I think there's a few people that are doing really good in this industry right now. Mr. Fallion and a few others, Star Wars wise, but and I don't think, Filoni, that's right. I don't think we have had enough time to see whether or not it's good, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, well,
because there's some changes that they've made that I hate, that I have a big problem with, but if they remedy them down the line, I might have less of a problem.
Well, and on the screenwriting one, honestly, almost everything about the show. If season 1 is the worst season of this show, I think we're doing pretty good. I mean, because there's some problems and several, there are several things that I think were missteps.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying, and you've got several even more, but yeah, I think there's enough that I'm excited about it. I think I'm excited. I am excited and I am hopeful for the future of the show. I don't think it's getting canceled anytime soon. I don't understand why people keep saying that still. I don't know what their evidence they're basing that on. Their own wishful thinking, which I'm going to end up ranting if I'm not careful, and we're trying to sign off here, sort of. But I don't understand that mentality at all.
What?
Like, I don't like the Chronicles of Narnia adaptation, but I am not going to think or say, I wish they had never been made. It's terrible. Why did they make this thing? That doesn't mean it. Why?
It doesn't help. It doesn't help anything.
Like, it's not like them making this show makes the books go away.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't. And here's a thought for those people too. And I'm going to end with this rant. Maybe we'll end on something hot. Maybe Jonathan's got something to close us out better in a second. But it's, if nothing else, I am 100% sure, because I've seen it with YouTubers and other just lay people. That's stupid. We're lay people too, but you get what I'm saying. Non-YouTubers, non-content creators, and content creators alike, who are now reading the series for the first time ever because of this show.
Yep.
How is this a bad thing?
Yeah. It's not.
Regardless of whether it's a perfect adaptation or not, or your favorite adaptation or not.
What's really cool about that is that you get to share it with more people.
Exactly.
You get to share the book experience or the TV experience.
And maybe you get a few more people saying, "Oh my gosh, this was a terrible adaptation." So maybe you get some more people in your camp.
There you go. Or you get to have the fun discussion of somebody who's only seen the TV show, and you get to say, that's all terrible, and this is how it happened. And they're like, oh, really? And then they want to read the books.
Sure.
I mean, there's so many good things that can come from that. Vidya said, thank you, guys. I'll be looking forward to your discussion and your Voodoo Mantra. We knew that. Thank you.
We did, but they didn't.
Yep. Yep. Voodoo Mantra is Vidya. Really looking forward to season 2, planning to trust the showrunners and hoping that they have solid reasons for things that happen, which will be clear with time. Yep. Agreed.
And then last comment we're going to take is Elphus. I think the wheel Will takes podcast did a great job going at it from a screenwriter's perspective. She calls out what happens next episode a lot.
Oh.
I have to check that out. I haven't been following as many podcasts. That is an interesting take. You know, when people who are familiar with the industry and whatever kind of make some of those things. I don't know. Sometimes I enjoy that kind of content and sometimes I don't. So I'd have to look at it and see what I think. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yep. Thank you guys
very,
again.
very much so. Join us over on Discord too.
Yep.
And let us know in the comments after this video goes to the recorded mode. Let us know what you're looking forward to in Wheel of Time and Lord of the Rings show. We've got some ideas and plans for content, but we really, really like hearing from you guys and what kind of things you want to hear and see. So let us know what you're looking forward to and what kind of content you'd like from us.
Thank you guys.
I think that's it.
Yep. Have a good evening.
Goodbye.